In the realm of spiritual enlightenment, there exists a law so profound and sacred that even the most awakened souls dare not transgress it. This forbidden law isn't etched in any ancient scripture or enforced by an external deity. Instead, it silently governs the inner journey, a hidden force that protects and balances the psyche of those who seek deeper understanding. It demands respect, caution, and a willingness to confront even the most daunting aspects of oneself. Why does this law hold such power over those who have walked far on the path of awakening? What makes it so unbreakable, and what are the consequences of crossing its bounds? As we explore further, you'll discover that this law not only influences individual transformation, but also connects each seeker to a larger, collective consciousness. For the awakened, honoring this law is essential, both as a personal safeguard and as a commitment to genuine grounded growth. The first step on the path to true awakening often involves stepping into an unfamiliar, even daunting territory within oneself. Carl Jung, the famed psychologist, saw this as an encounter with the collective unconscious, a deep reservoir of shared human experience that transcends individual memory. Within this realm reside archetypes, universal images and symbols that influence us all. These forces are not imaginary, they are potent energies that shape our perceptions, thoughts, and even our choices. To disregard their presence is to misunderstand the very nature of the psyche. Among these archetypal forces lies the shadow, a part of the psyche that holds repressed fears, hidden desires, and aspects of ourselves we prefer to ignore. The forbidden law emphasizes the importance of confronting this shadow rather than pushing it away. Ignoring it only deepens its influence, leading to what Jung referred to as psychic inflation. When this happens, individuals can become overly identified with archetypal roles, such as the hero or the sage, mistaking themselves for something larger than life. This distorted self-perception pulls them away from their authentic experience, disconnecting them from both their humanity and those around them. Thus, the forbidden law subtly warns, only by embracing the shadow can you maintain balance on the path of awakening. As you traverse deeper into the unknown territories of your psyche, another challenge arises, the challenge of projection. Jung saw projection as an unconscious act, where we transfer our unacknowledged qualities, especially those we find uncomfortable, onto others. This natural tendency becomes particularly complex during the process of awakening. In fact, it often blinds us to our own growth, redirecting our focus outward in a way that obstructs true self-awareness. For example, it can be all too easy to label others as unawakened or lost, while unknowingly projecting our unresolved struggles onto them. The forbidden law advises you to consistently turn inward and recognize these projections. Awakening requires personal accountability. It's about owning your inner conflicts rather than attributing them to others or the world around you. This law reminds you to look beyond the surface, to question your perceptions, and to seek out the parts of yourself that may be hiding behind these judgments. This self-reflective stance helps you retract projections, allowing you to perceive the world more truthfully. But achieving this awareness is no simple feat. It demands an ongoing commitment to humility, honesty, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths about oneself. In the process of awakening, you may begin to experience synchronicities, those profound, seemingly magical coincidences that seem to defy ordinary explanations. Jung saw synchronicity as a reflection of the interconnectedness between the inner self and the outer world. It's a phenomenon that can feel like confirmation from the universe, providing validation and guidance when you need it most. But the forbidden law advises caution. Synchronicities, while captivating, should not be mistaken for unquestionable signs or guarantees of spiritual progression. This phenomenon carries the risk of drawing your focus outward, tempting you to seek signs and symbols rather than grounding yourself in genuine inner work. The law calls for a balanced perspective, encouraging you to see synchronicities not as confirmations of destiny, but as mirrors of your current state. They offer an invitation to reflect inward, to question what these events reveal about your psyche, rather than seeking external validation. Synchronicity, in this sense, serves as a reminder that the true journey lies within. The forbidden law cautions you to remain rooted, to appreciate synchronicities without becoming entranced by them, allowing your journey to continue uninterrupted. True awakening requires a descent into the shadow, a courageous exploration of those parts of yourself you might prefer to avoid. For Jung, this descent wasn't merely a therapeutic exercise. It was a necessary rite of passage, a confrontation with the duality that exists within every human soul. The forbidden law here reinforces a central tenet. Ignoring the shadow or choosing to only acknowledge the light aspects of yourself leads to fragmentation and imbalance. Accepting your shadow involves coming to terms with the fact that you are a complex being, capable of both noble and troubling impulses. The law of balance dictates that neither side should be suppressed. To repress your shadow is to inflate your ego, leading to a distorted self-image and potentially damaging behavior. If left unacknowledged, the shadow doesn't simply vanish. It manifests in other ways, often disrupting your life through irrational behavior, internal conflict, or strained relationships. According to the forbidden law, true wholeness arises from integration, not avoidance. By welcoming these darker aspects into your conscious awareness, you prevent them from exerting unconscious control and open the door to a more balanced, harmonious self. As you progress on this path, another danger emerges: the formation of the spiritual ego. This trap is insidious, often unnoticed, as it disguises itself as wisdom, insight, or virtue. When you begin to see yourself as superior or more enlightened than others, you fall prey to ego inflation. The forbidden law urges you to resist this seductive sense of superiority. It's easy to start viewing awakening as a process that places you above others, but this perspective disconnects you from empathy, compassion, and authentic personal growth. The spiritual ego fosters a sense of isolation and judgment, severing the ties that connect you to humanity. The forbidden law warns that awakening should cultivate humility, not pride. True wisdom lies in the willingness to remain a student of life, open to new insights, challenges, and growth. The danger of believing you have arrived at enlightenment is that it halts your evolution. Instead, the law of balance invites you to embrace an ongoing journey, one where you are as much a learner as a guide. To abide by this law, you must see every person as a reflection of yourself, humbly recognizing that each individual has their own path, equally valuable, equally necessary. Perhaps the most significant aspect of the forbidden law is its caution against the illusion of arrival, the belief that one has reached the ultimate peak of enlightenment. Jung emphasized that the journey of individuation, or the path toward wholeness, is cyclical and never-ending. Each revelation you uncover leads to new mysteries. Each understanding opens the door to further insights. The law warns against the illusion of finality, for believing that you've made it is an illusion that creates stagnation. Falling into this illusion hinders growth, causing you to ignore new layers of the psyche. The law, in this sense, serves as a reminder of the continuous nature of awakening. Jung often drew upon the myth of Sisyphus to illustrate this, the hero's unending task of pushing a boulder uphill only to watch it roll back down, symbolizes the cyclical journey of self-discovery. Even as you reach certain levels of understanding, the law guides you to remain open, to remember that there is always more to explore. True awakening lies in accepting that each insight, each experience, is a stepping stone rather than a final destination. The forbidden law invites you to embrace a life of humility, where every discovery becomes a reminder of how much remains unknown. It urges you to balance curiosity with reverence, to treat each layer of awakening as both a gift and a responsibility. The journey of self-discovery and individuation does not promise an endpoint. Instead, it offers an endless process of learning, growth, and transformation. The law, ultimately, is a guide to living in harmony with the self, a reminder that enlightenment is not about conquering the unknown, but about coexisting with it, honoring the delicate balance of light and darkness within us all.